Have you ever felt an inexplicable attraction by a person, as if something inside you told you that this is the person you were waiting for? That deep feeling is not a coincidence or a simple passing emotion. There is a connection beyond the visible, something that aligns with your deepest essence, that place that we often put aside without understanding its true meaning. Carl Jung, the famous psychologist, spoke of a part of our psyche that guides us towards what we really need in life, something that, although invisible, has a transformative power. Have you ever wondered why certain people seem to reach your life at specific times in such a deep and mysterious way? Why do these connections affect you so much? According to Jung, it is not a mere chance, but a synchrony, a concept that describes the connection between the universe and our unconscious. Destiny in this context is revealed through the deep connection we feel with those who, without understanding how, seem to be the key to our personal growth. Throughout this route, we will explore how this phenomenon is not only a matter of emotion, but of the internal vibration that attracts what we most need. To better understand this idea, it is essential to reflect on what Jung said about the unconscious. The conscious mind has the ability to reason, but it is the unconscious that keeps the deepest secrets about who we are and what we really need. Jung suggested that the most important decisions in life do not arise solely from what we know rationally, but from that deep space within us, full of symbols and emotions that, although we do not fully understand, guide us. Now, before moving forward, I want to know, have you already stopped to think about the importance of aligning with your truth and looking for what is really destined for you? How have you been relating with yourself and others? If what we are talking about today resonates with you, I ask you to leave a like in this video and subscribe to the channel. This helps a lot to strengthen this message and reach more people who, like you, are looking for answers to connect with their purpose. And don't forget to share this video. It can be exactly what someone needs to hear right now. And I also take the opportunity to ask, what city are you seeing us? I would love to know more about you and your trip. Leave it in the comments and we will exchange ideas on the subject we are exploring here. Thus, when a person seems to be destined for you, the connection is not only a fortuitous encounter, but a moment of synchrony, where the universe responds to your internal vibration, showing what you really need to advance in your life. This connection is manifested naturally, as if an invisible force guided you towards that encounter without the need for conscious effort. However, like any significant process, it can be accompanied by challenges, confusion, and moments of introspection. In Jung's words, sometimes it is necessary to face our shadows, those parts of ourselves that we have repressed, to be able to connect with what we really are looking for. These shadows are not external entities, but aspects of our own psyche who, when ignored, emerge in misunderstood ways. The funny thing is that when someone is destined for you, that connection will lead you to confront those shadows. It will force you to question your beliefs, your limits, and even your expectations about what you thought need in a relationship. Thus, the person who seems to be your destiny not only teaches you about love or deep connection, but also about self-knowledge and acceptance of yourself that perhaps you had avoided seeing. Through this relationship, the unconscious invites you to discover aspects of you that were hidden, and in that process, the feeling that something or someone is destined for you becomes something much deeper than a simple momentary happiness. It is a sensation of alignment with your authentic being, a feeling of integrity that does not require additional efforts to fit. In the end, it is simply who you are, and that is what really matters. You do not feel the pressure to change or adjust what others expect from you, because that relationship or situation allows you to show you as you are. And here enters a fundamental concept of Jung, individuation. Perhaps this term does not sound familiar to you, but it refers to the process of discovering your true being, stripping you of the masks and roles we adopt to fit into society. The relationships that are destined for you do not force you to be a different person, but give you the opportunity to find your most pure essence. Through that connection, you recognize yourself. Jung conveyed the idea that life is not about fitting into a pre-established mold, but about unraveling who you are deep and living according to that truth. When someone is intended to be part of your life, not everything is perfect at the beginning. In fact, it is possible that faces obstacles, misunderstandings, or conflicts, but those challenges should not be seen as signs that something is going wrong. On the contrary, they are moments that invite you to grow and get to know you better, to discover what you really need. Jung argued that the personal growth process is never simple or fast. Instead of fleeing conflicts or problems, you have to see them as an opportunity to integrate parts of you that you still do not know. Maybe you have felt attracted to someone who seemed to be everything you had always wanted. However, over time, you found difficulties with situations that you did not understand well. Maybe you wondered if something was not working in the relationship, or if there was something in you that should change. What Jung reminds us is that these difficulties are not signs that the relationship is not for you, but invitations to deepen inside. True relationships are not built without obstacles. The moments of conflict are those that allow you to discover what you really need, what strengthens you, and what frees you. Love, in its deepest sense, is not perfection, but authenticity. And it is that authenticity that establishes a genuine connection between two people. When someone is destined for you, it is not just to share happy moments, but to grow together, to heal together, to face together the shadows that both carry inside. It is this process of transformation that makes a relationship really significant. In summary, when someone is destined for you, you feel deeply, but that feeling is accompanied by an invitation to self-knowledge. That person not only connects you with what you need emotionally, but also challenges you to become the best version of yourself. You don't need to be someone you are not. On the contrary, that connection allows you to be more than ever, and it is in that place where you find a relationship capable of transforming your life. What Jung taught us is that true love is not sought outside, but is discovered in the depths of our being. When we come into contact with our true essence, the universe is responsible for crossing us with people who will be key in our evolution process. Everything seems to flow naturally, as if the pieces of a puzzle finally fit. The signals are around us, waiting for us to recognize them. And when a deep connection occurs with someone, it is as if we were being guided towards self-knowledge and a more authentic life. It is fascinating how when something or someone is intended for you, the sensation is immediate and enveloping. It is as if, at that precise moment, everything in your life had had a previous purpose to get there. Interaction with that person is not common. You feel as if something is already inside you, waiting to be activated. It is not only a passing emotion, but a deeper understanding, a connection that does not come only from the conscious world, but is a reflection of what the unconscious has prepared for you. Jung spoke often about the importance of paying attention to the signs of our unconscious. When that destined person enters your life, the signals become evident. A simple exchange of words can trigger a much deeper reflection on yourself, taking you beyond the superficial, inviting you to a genuine connection. Suddenly, you begin to realize that each experience lived so far has a purpose. The falls, the failures, the wrong decisions, all that was part of a trip that now has a clear meaning, one that prepares you for that instant of sincere connection. But as Jung points out, this process is not just about finding someone and waiting for a life full of perfection. In fact, what the German psychologist teaches us is that when we find someone destined to be part of our life, we face a mirror. This mirror not only reflects what you like about yourself, but also what you have not yet integrated, those parts of your being that remain in the shadows. At first, this can be uncomfortable, even painful, because it forces you to confront aspects of yourself that you would prefer to ignore. However, Jung invites us not to fear them, but to accept them, to integrate those shadows, because only then can we live a full and aligned life with our deepest truth. This integration process is not limited to the relationship with that special person. It is also an opportunity to review other relationships in your life, those that have limited you or made you feel less than you are. Often, we find people who, although they seem to be part of our destiny, are not in tune with our true essence. This does not mean that these people are bad or incorrect, but simply that they are not aligned with what we need to grow. The unconscious, as Jung explained to us, speaks to us through our emotions and reactions to the world around us. Thus, when someone is really destined for you, that connection not only feels deep in your being, but it challenges you to question everything you thought you knew. If you feel overwhelmed by intense emotions or sensations of discomfort, it is possible that the unconscious is inviting you to look more closely at what is happening inside you. Jung said that we should not fear the darkness that the unconscious can expose. What we are looking for is that we face those hidden parts of ourselves to find the light that hides in them. Facing a deep connection like this can make us feel vulnerable. However, according to Jung, this vulnerability is a key piece for our personal development. Without it, we could never access what we really are. The funny thing is that far from considering it a weakness, vulnerability is precisely what strengthens us. It is what allows us to open our hearts to others, to be honest with ourselves, and thus cultivate authentic and significant relationships. Therefore, the people who are destined to cross our way are the ones who manage to wake up, those who help us feel that we are truly alive. These people challenge us, push us out of our comfort zone, and at the same time show us parts of ourselves that we had forgotten or repressed. It's not about finding someone perfect, because perfection is just a fantasy. What really matters is to find someone who allows us to be who we are, without filters, without fears. When that happens, a magical connection is created. Two beings bind not only for love, but for mutual support in the search for their most authentic being. Through that relationship, each one begins to discover their purpose, which really makes sense of their life. That is the force that gives power to that connection. Throughout life, we will know people who will make us grow, who will challenge us, but we will also find those who will subtract energy, make us feel trapped, or disconnect from our true essence. Sometimes, recognizing the difference between them is not simple, hence the importance of having a healthy relationship with oneself, as Jung said. If you don't know who you are, it will be much more difficult to identify what is suitable for you. On the contrary, when you know yourself thoroughly, when you free yourself from the expectations of others and enter tune with your inner being, the answers begin to be clearer. This self-knowledge process is fundamental, and the relationship with that person aimed at you is the catalyst that drives that transformation. Through that connection, it is possible to rediscover what you really want, what you need, and what gives you peace. This relationship is not the promise of perpetual happiness or the absence of conflicts. It is a relationship that teaches you to be authentic, to accept both the shadows and the light that inhabit you. Jung showed us that life is a continuous process of change and growth. The encounter with someone destined is not the end, but the beginning of a deep trip to self, knowledge, and understanding of being. It is through this trip that we come to understand what really matters, what connects us with our essence, and allows us to live genuinely. You may be going through a doubt stage at this moment. You may be in a relationship that you do not understand completely or feel that you still have something to discover. I invite you to enter your own being, to listen to that internal voice that guides you. As Jung taught us, the unconscious speaks to us through our emotions, our intuitions, and the people who appear on our way. When that special person enters your life, you will recognize that it is time to accept what is destined for you, without fear and with the full confidence that everything fits at the right time. This process is a journey towards self-discovery, a path that is full of lessons and challenges, but also of moments of deep connection. If you ever feel that something or someone is destined to be with you, do not hesitate to follow that feeling, because when you follow your truth, the universe conspires for you, and the pieces of your life begin to fit in a wonderful and perfect way. When you find a person destined for you, something inside you awakens immediately. That feeling can be so strong that you will feel that your whole life has prepared you for this encounter. However, as with everything in life, the most authentic connections do not always follow a straight path. It is a process, a continuous evolution, which may not be clear from the beginning. It may be full of doubts, confusing moments, and even suffering. But what Jung taught us is that these difficult moments are also stages of healing and growth. People who are destined for you are not perfect, and relationships with them are not exempt from difficulties. On the contrary, they are the ones that challenge us most, those that push us to be more authentic and look beyond the shadows we still carry. Jung said that our relationships, whether healthy or difficult, are a reflection of what we carry within us. It is no accident that in some relationships your insecurities, fears, and unresolved dreams emerge. Finding someone who is destined for you can make those hidden aspects of your being come to light, because that person has the power to activate something in you. This can manifest in various ways. Maybe you start experiencing intense emotions that you don't understand completely. Maybe you discover facets of yourself that you had avoided. However, these are the moments in which, if you decide to face them, you can access your true being, the one that goes beyond the expectations and limitations that you have imposed for so long. What we often do not understand is that these interactions are not only opportunities to love another person, but to learn to love yourself. People who are destined for you, in a sense, function as mirrors that reflect what you have not yet integrated into your life. These are reflexes that sometimes, in a painful way, show us the parts of ourselves that need to be healed. This process that Jung called how the encounter with the shadow does not imply rejecting those parts of ourselves that we usually hide. On the contrary, it is about accepting and understanding that these shadows are as our light inside. The shadow is not something external. It is a part of you that you have relegated to the depths of your being, but that often continues to influence your decisions and your life without realizing it. The essential thing on this path is not only to find someone to seem to your measure, but also know how to become the right person for yourself. It is essential to understand that relationships should not be a field of struggle or a burden, nor a place where you feel incomplete or insecure. The real connection with someone for you must be a space where you can be yourself, without filters, without masks, where you feel freedom to discover your deepest being. This is what really implies living in congruence with your true essence, as Jung taught. Being faithful to yourself does not mean to follow a path without obstacles, but to be honest with who you are, even when that implies letting go what has no place in your life, although that causes you pain. When you let go of everything that no longer belongs to you, you begin to discover that love is not something that is sought outside, but something that grows within you. Relationships with people who are destined for you must be sources of emotional nutrition. They must be a reflection of self, love, not lack. Genuine love is not about filling empty, but about sharing what is already complete within you. In those relationships, what you really experience is the magic of authenticity and personal growth. The deepest relationships are those that allow mutual growth. They are the ones that do not require you to change, but they help you evolve, to be a better person without losing your identity. Love then becomes a shared exploration process. When someone is intended for you, the road is not rigid or predictable, but it adapts and transforms as you advance. This connection process is dynamic, conforms to the needs of each one, and changes over time. Truly significant relationships are not limited to moments of happiness, but are marked by constant learning, individual growth, and evolution within the link. Thus, love transforms into a tool of deep transformation. Through it, You not only link with another person, but with a more authentic version of yourself, a version that you had left forgotten or ignored. And it is important to understand that this true connection does not happen when we consciously seek it. The authentic connection comes when we are prepared to receive it, when we are in tune with our own essence, and we have worked to integrate all the parts of our being, both the luminous and the dark ones. Jung talked about the importance of embracing all the facets of oneself, even those that are uncomfortable or difficult. In doing so, our energy changes, and that is when the right people begin to reach our lives. The universe, according to Carl Jung, can be understood as a reflection of our collective unconscious. It is a vast energy field where our internal vibrations attract situations and people that resonate with what we are inside. If we are aligned with our essence, it is inevitable that the relationships that arise are also in tune with that truth. However, it is important to clarify that people who are really destined for us will not arrive to feel empty or solve our problems. The real connection is not in someone who completes us, but in the one who, together with us, allows us to be completely who we are, without fears or reservations. This way to the encounter with those related souls will not necessarily be easy. There will be times when you will question if you are really in the right place or if what you are living is what you expected. Jung taught us that uncertainty and doubts are, in fact, part of the transformative process. They are the moments that challenge us to look in, to do the necessary work to heal. The true power of a relationship lies in its ability to grow both. It is the possibility of learning together, to overcome obstacles as a team, to evolve without the need to change what each one is. Real love is not just about passenger feelings, but about a deep experience, a construction that occurs every day. The magic of love, according to Jung, lies in its transformative power. Not only does it connect with another person, but with a more authentic version of ourselves. Thus, when that special person arrives, it is not only an external connection, but about a deep internal experience that calls us to return to our essence. Although the way to a deep relationship is not always simple, it is the only one that can lead us to an authentic and significant life. By following this tour, you will realize that you have not only found that person destined for you, but you have also found yourself in the process. It is in the encounter with your deepest being where you discover the peace you were looking for. The relationships that are really destined for you allow you to grow and bloom as an individual, while sharing your life with another being. This trip, although challenging, is the way to true transformation. It is the process that allows you to understand that love is not only a feeling, but a tool for self-knowledge, healing, and expansion. It is the gift that life gives you to recognize yourself as you are, without barriers, without fears. I invite you to reflect on everything you have heard today and connect with that truth that resides inside. So now I want to know about you. Have you ever gone through a situation in which you had to make difficult decisions to align with your true essence? Sometimes, the way to find our authenticity can be challenging, but it is incredible how, when we connect with what we really are, everything begins to make more sense. Have you allowed yourself to live your truth, or have you left some things aside for fear or insecurity? How was that process for you? If you have identified with what we are talking about today, leave your like and share this video with your friends. I think this content can make a big difference for someone who's going through a transformation process. And do not forget to subscribe to the channel to continue enjoying more videos like this, where together we will explore how authenticity and self-knowledge can transform our lives. And tell me, what city are you seeing us? I would love to know more about you, how you see this connection we are talking about, and how your experience has been in this path of self-discovery.